Oh. All right. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna lay out some of this bow. We're gonna figure out how long it is, find our center, and then mark that. Mark halfway. Yep. Now, when you're laying out your handle, what I like to do, I got pretty average size hands. I'll take my hand and I'll put it on here, and I'll just go usually a little bit below my pinky finger and a little bit above my index finger, and that gives me my handle area, and I usually put those on the back a little bit too. So, and also I like to double check after I do this to make sure I got the limbs even with each other. Good enough. Ain't got to be exactly perfect. So once you get your lines where you want them, take your marker, and I like to go all the way around. And I like to use black marker at this. And they ain't got to be perfectly straight all the way around. Just take it around so you have some guidelines. So, once you get your guidelines on there, as you can see, I got them all the way around, and then that's my center. You have that defined. So, that's going to be your bow, and that's the back of the bow, side of the bow, belly of the bow. So what you're going to do from here is you can do one of two things. You can either, as we started, chop in through here and work your way down the bow, thinning this out, or you can go to the back of the bow and start working on the sides and making your bow shape more defined. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this alone for now, and I'm going to take some more bulk material off because I have way too much material. Okay, we gotten this limb more thinned out and a little more defined. Now we're going to work on this limb. So again, you don't want to be up here in your handle on the other side of your black line right here. You want to be down below it just a little bit so you don't damage your handle, because now she's starting to take a little better of a shape. Work around it, side to side, to the belly, and get it dug in there pretty good. And as you can see, look, as you work at it, it'll kind of start to split off. As you can see, they just sort of blow off, and you don't have to hit it as hard. Now, do the same thing directly on the belly. And look at that. Down here at this end, she's starting to get pretty thin versus up here or over here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dig this in right here a little deeper, thing up here, and then probably work on starting to shape the bow out a little more. Again, don't worry about these tool marks too much. They ain't gonna hurt nothing right now, and when we get to a filing point to where we can take a rasp or a woodworking file, we'll get those out and get the tool marks out, or some of the tool marks, and then so on and so forth. Just make that a little more defined, and you can flip it over and work this way towards it. So I can adjust you a little bit. So you can stand up once this gets up high like this. And don't take a big old whack or you're gonna cleave this handle part off right here. Just little, take away little pieces right now. And that'll work right there. We'll work back on this side. Get this thing a little more defined, especially more down here toward the bottom. See, once we get further along, we want to avoid that, because if you put that in there, then that's more wood you got to take out, and it might be more of a chance that when you get to the tillering stage, you don't get it to the desired draw weight. See, if I kept going with that, that's gonna hollow out a big old chunk right here. See, it literally is thick enough to get the hatchet stuck in it. So what I'd do is make you a little relief there, and look at that, pop right out. And then you got a little notch here already started. Okay, so now that we got that roughed out, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start on this limb, the one with the crack up here, and I'm gonna start shaping it out a little bit. So I gotta get rid of this crack. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So obviously, I don't know if you can see this. Yeah, this crack, there's a crack right here, and it goes all the way up through here, all the way back up here. So I got to remove that, but that crack is also this crack, which I have to get rid of. So we're gonna work on the belly and see how bad this is. So you start up here where it ends, and as you can see, I just found where it goes in. You've seen the hatchet go in super easy. Come down here, and I like to remove that piece. And there it is again. Come down here. We just remove it slowly but surely. And what's going to end up happening is we're going to end up revealing it and removing it. And it looks like that whole piece goes in. So what I'm going to do, and I'll bring you down, I'm going to angle you way down here so you can see it. This crack here, we're going to go right here and we're going to dig in and we're going to get rid of the chunk there. So go ahead and flake that off. As you can see, I almost got all the way back to it, and I'm pretty close over here too. Show you that. See, almost on the back of the bow into it, and almost on the belly of the bow into it. So you just want to get to it and then work it off there. Now, as you can see, there's our piece. You can see that how dark that wood is. That crack's been there ever since it's been split off. Now, we can work this off, and that leaves us with plenty of material for out here on the tip. Now, as you can see, got rid of that. Yeah, it took a big old bite out of it, but the good news is these tips are going to be really small when I get done with them. They're actually probably going to be more like the size of that pin right there, or heck, maybe even my pinky finger. So that right there ain't gonna hurt much. Looks ugly right now, but it ain't gonna hurt it. So just go ahead and we're gonna clean these sides up a little bit better. Now, if this bow was straighter and had no cracks in it, what I would have done is I would have took that marker and I would have laid out a shape on the back of this bow, and I would have followed those lines, chopping it down like we're doing here, like where I removed this crack. But since it had this crack here, I had to go that deep in anyway. But in certain cases, like if you're tillering it or heat bending it or steam bending it and it cracks, if it's a certain crack, you can put glue in there and clamp it together and fix it, and you might even have to make a rawhide boot for it or put a backing on this bow or something of that sort to make sure it holds together and is strong. But in this case, we can just remove that chunk of wood. So, I don't want to take much material off of this side over here, but I do need to take a little bit more off of right here in this area. But I'm going to do that and then I'll get back with you.